Good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Funkable Operator Podcast, episode 21. How did you like the Super Bowl? Was it good? Was it great? Or was it horrible? Shout out to the Kansas City Chiefs. They won the Super Bowl. Thank God they did. I knew they was going to win the Super Bowl before, they beat the 49ers. I knew they were going to beat the 49ers, Kansas City. It was a great game when it went overtime for 20 years. Didn't you know that Usher was rubbing up against Alicia Keys at the Super Bowl? There's a lot going on for hip-hop when Ice Spice was in the crowd with Taylor Swift. And they were rooting for Kansas City. And I was rooting for Kansas City myself. We won money, a couple of $100 for me and my father to have to make sure we get the money and I can go wherever the hell I want to go. And realize the ways, how I walk, the way I talk about doing touchdowns and field goals or whatnot, so whatever. This is the Funkable Operator Podcast 21, yours truly from J Funkadelic. How do you feel about Ice Spice when she came out of the neck of the woods from having hair like Annie, like you're singing that record, the sun will come out tomorrow, tomorrow, every time I see Ice Spice, she always has hair like Annie. And, she joined Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl. When I saw the photo giving a kiss to this guy, I don't know who he is, but he was a football player straight out of Las Vegas. I never went to Vegas. I don't have to go to Vegas because Vegas is a scary place where you put your money in the casinos and you lose all your money, and that's why you turn to a bum and being homeless for that type of reason. Y'all know the vibes when I'm talking about making sure everything can be all right in your own situation. About the 49ers got beat by Kansas City in the Super Bowl. I remember seeing the Super Bowl commercials with Fat Joe, Jennifer Lopez, Common Sense, and other people that was in the Super Bowl. Shout out to my boy Jermaine Dupri from So Def Records. Shout out to my boy Ludacris when he did that Usher record, yeah, in the Super Bowl. It was very fun to watch. Some people got tackled. For instance, when the last overtime, Kansas City scored the touchdown before 11 o'clock at night. But it was a very good game that we all loved and enjoyed for the Super Bowl Sunday. That people just love being in Las Vegas, enjoying the Super Bowl, and having Kansas City beat the San Francisco 49ers. It was a great game. I made my bets, but I don't know if it was FanDuel or something like that. There's got to be a reason why Taylor Swift was tongue-kissing this guy that I saw in the Super Bowl Sunday. Shout out to my homegirl Cardi B that did a commercial when it was at the Super Bowl. Y'all understand why we watched the whole goddamn game by storm and everybody was doing a watch party. Little Kim was at Sauce Con Fuego, but unfortunately I couldn't make it to Sauce Con Fuego because I was having issues with the bodyguards over there. But I don't give a shit about them people. I just had a good time. I know the place was packed like a Snicker bar, Sauce Con Fuego. But I ain't feel like going to Sauce Con Fuego and see Little Kim do her thing. But I would understand why that I can't go to Sauce Con Fuego because, there's a lot of capacity. A lot of shit be rocking all the time with the DJs, the MCs that perform. I know Trey Songz was over there performing. And I know Little Kim performed also as well. So, how do you feel about rapper Ice Spice? Do you think she's a dope MC? Do you think she's got it made when she did the record called Deli? Do you think Ice Spice is one of my favorite rappers, but she couldn't be my favorite rappers? I know too many hip-hop superstars that been out before she even existed. For example, that Ice Spice, has hair like Annie. We all know that. We all know Taylor Swift was at the Super Bowl rooting for Kansas City. Ice Spice was rooting for Kansas City. I was rooting for Kansas City myself when Kansas City won the Super Bowl. for the fact that we all know Kansas City did their thing. Everybody had a lot of fun in life, thinking that people are just, having a great time at the Super Bowl. Shout out to my homegirl, Jennifer Lopez. Shout out to Fat Joe. I seen that commercial that they did at the Super Bowl commercials with the M&Ms, with the chocolate candy pieces that we all eat. But that shit will give you diabetes no matter what happens in a life as itself as it made to be. So, the Super Bowl was great. I was watching the entire game from the beginning all the way to the end when the Kansas City scored the touchdown. They made a good pass at the end zone. And, they all won all together. Like, remember the years ago when Tom Brady, made a touchdown and, the Super Bowl ended with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. When the Super Bowl Sunday had to be, one of them favorite situations where people like to see that people are always getting it together, no matter what could happen from any time, any place, anywhere. Going to Vegas is like, playing the slot machines and going to that stadium and people are just rooting for other teams and stuff. Shout out to my homeboy Snoop Dogg. Shout out to my homeboy Dr. Dre that did the album The Chronic, that were having a Super Bowl party. Shout out to my homeboy Fat Joe from the BX, from Pros Projects, that had the Las Vegas party on lock. But I didn't really been in Vegas. I wish I would have went to see the Super Bowl, but unfortunately I didn't go. I was stuck in New York watching it on CBS 2. Channel 2 was, the Super Bowl Sunday situation where I watched the whole game from the beginning all the way to the end. I was watching it on my phone and I was watching it on the TV screen. And, we had a lot of fun last Sunday night. But, some of the times I'll be going to the Meadowlands, playing the horses, knowing about the jockeys, racing, winning every race. But I couldn't win every race, but, sometimes, you win some, you lose some. It happens all the time when you play horses, or even you go to the casinos and play machines, when you're in Empire City, Yonkers Raceway. And, I don't really how to work FanDuel that much, but I can learn how to use FanDuel. But you have to have a debit or credit card to use FanDuel. It's all that bullshit we all do to play FanDuel and making sports bets. There's reasons why that people like to bet on football or horses or anything that we all know about, and getting it ready to understand. We know what saying gambling is like a big problem in life, and sometimes people are just sarcastic when they lose money. People get very out of hand. It screws up every goddamn thing in life. And there's a lot of people that don't respect gambling. They don't want to gamble the money. They don't want to lose it. They think it's like a disease that people have when they play lottery or scratch-offs or any type of thing they do in life. But, the situation with gambling is like a big disease when you lose all the money and you go dead broke and you have no more money to bet. Any situation with slot machines, horses, lottery, and other type of things that we all do, like it's a big disease that we can't get rid of. And there's a lot of cocksuckers that never try to be, thinking about they don't want to lose their money. They bet small if they have low cash. And there's a lot of people that want to gamble and they take their money to a whole nother level and all of a sudden they lose it all. Gambling is like a big disease when you play scratch-offs. One time I played a lottery ticket, I won $500 a few times last year. And it was phenomenal. I had 10 times the amount playing the games. But the money is gone. The money got thrown out, because I bought a lot of things with the money that I won. and I know that happens. Shout out to GNR Deli. They feed me all the time when I go there. It's fun to be in the GNR Deli, eating all the sandwiches on Morris Park on Waynesbridge Road. Shout out to my boy Ralphie Boy from GNR. That's my boy that be feeding me a lot of food over there, getting some chicken or ribs or something like that, making sure that I stay full, not that much hungry as I need to be. So the situation with being in a good mood, when you win money, you're always in a good mood when you win money, and you put yourself in a rare form when you lose money. You curse under your breath, make sure people don't hear you, talk your shit, and then people get offended to tell you lower your voice or keep it down. You're cursing so much you can't win. Your horse came dead last, and all of a sudden you lose your money for that type of goddamn reason. And there's a lot of shit that be popping off and jumping off the way I see it to believe it. We don't know gambling is like a big disease for people. You win and then you lose, and then winner takes all when you gamble all your money, and know that you win money. And then you might win a lot, you might win a little bit, but you can't spend money on crackhead money, because crackhead money is nothing but chump change. We all know gambling could be a big problem in life. People are just gambling for the type of reason that, you play all the types of crap games. You play roulette, you play slot machines, and all of a sudden you think about playing the poker games when you want to hit a royal flush for a lot of money, hitting the jackpot. Thinking you're the man, thinking you gamble. And then you keep gambling, and then all of a sudden you lose it. Somebody's got to teach me how to work FanDuel, to make sure that I could win money and not give a fuck about nobody else, and try to keep myself occupied, how the gambling situation could really be. And there's a lot of shit that be jumping off. For the record straight, I represent the hip-hop culture to the fullest. I represent gambling to the fullest, but I don't feel like gambling if I don't want to. I could save a buck or two just to buy a drink, just to buy diet soda, but not regular soda, because soda could have sugar in it. It depends what kind of soda you buy. Drinking the soda, Diet Pepsi, Diet this, Diet that. You got to go with diet, because some of the sugar can make you be diagnosed with diabetes like I am. We all got to watch our weight, for the record straight. Gambling could be a big problem in life. If you got a gambling problem, you should think about not to do it that much, in order for you to understand that gambling is a bad disease for a lot of good people that like to be spending money on slot machines or lottery tickets, or playing horses, or betting football games, or any type of sport that people feel like they want to always win and get the money and get the cash, and realize that people are just losing and losing and losing the more they want to play the game. I've been hearing a lot of people think that they want to have a big jackpot to win like $1 million, and making sure it's a propaganda you might want to win. There's a lot of people that be thinking that, gambling is like, sometimes you want to gamble and win money. Unfortunately, you're like throwing it all away. Giving it all up and not really give a shit about, you want to play a slot machine for $1 or more money and you think you're going to win, and all of a sudden you lose it all, and then you be one sorry person for that type of reason. But let's change the subject about going back to the Super Bowl Sunday when the 49ers, lost from the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, I won the bet from my parents. My father would puts a lot of money on FanDuel. Not really FanDuel, but he made a bet. Hopefully did it on FanDuel. I don't even know if he really did had to play it on FanDuel when he won money, or try to But while I was going for Kansas City Chiefs, I didn't give a shit about the 49ers. I love the Kansas City Chiefs. I like the Patriots. I like the Green Bay Packers. I like Tampa Bay Downs. You know what I'm saying? Even though I was really feeling the New York Giants or the New York Jets or some type of situation we all go through when we play sports. You know, and you play it like in the 50-yard line from the end zone. From that type of situation. Rest in peace, shout out to my homeboy John Madden. How many of y'all remember John Madden? You know, that he was a football fanatic. He was a coach way back in the day. You know, I was listening to Sports Radio 66 WFN with my homeboy Boomer Esiason. That was a real football player. And, you know, he's on WFAN right now. He has his own show in the morning on WFAN New York. And I like to listen to him. You know, sometimes I'll be listening to other things like Howard Stern, and he talks about all this crazy shit about the sex situation, giving girls blowjobs and stuff. You know, giving the guys a blowjob, but we ain't going to be going out like that. Girls be shaking their ass and squeezing their titties and whatnot. But it's really a situation where people have to understand everything we all do is part of life. No matter what could happen from anything we all see and all situations we all go through. There's a lot of situations we all go through when people gamble. They lose all their money and they get all fucked up for that type of reason. Y'all know the vibes. Y'all know where the fuck I'm coming from. Because I gamble also myself. With my father going to racetracks when I go to the Palace, when I go to the Meadowlands, or where I go to Aqueduct. Playing all these horses, hitting all these exactas, $1 triple box, $2 superfecta. You know, sometimes I win, like when I play 10-cent superfecta box. You know, you don't get that much money back. When you play like a $2 superfecta, you might have a better chance when the horses come in order when you always want to win the money. You know how shit can really get for that certain of times. Certain of times that people are just like looking to gamble, looking to win money, but unfortunately they lose, and there be one sorry persons that lost the money and been a crying shame that they have to leave the venue from the racetrack or the casino, going to Vegas, going to Empire City, or going to Resort World Casino in Queens and Aqueduct Racetrack. For that type of reason, we all have to understand people are just going to gamble if they want to. They don't have to gamble if they don't want to. That's the situation people go through in life. You know, shout out to Kansas City, shout out to my homegirl Ice Spice. Usher had his own halftime Super Bowl session where he performed with Lil Jon, yeah, and Ludacris and Usher and Jermaine Dupri got on stage, you know, with the halftime show when the Super Bowl was dope. The only halftime Super Bowl show was dope when they had Dr. Dre, Kendrick Lamar, Snoop Dogg, Mary J. Blige, and it was a fun time when they had the Super Bowl Sunday, you know, a couple of years back, when I went to South Confuego to see my homeboy Neo. But unfortunately, I didn't even run to Neo because he performed mad early and then he left because I was looking for the brother. Then I went to Eat Dow's BBQs watching the Super Bowl with the Eminem Slim Shady was performing. Do you remember that? Do you remember when Slim Shady performed with Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg? And then the year before, it was Rihanna performing at the Super Bowl. And then they had Jennifer Lopez and Shakira performing. You know? You remember... You remember back in 1991 when Whitney Houston performed at the Super Bowl? And then back in 93, we saw Michael Jackson perform the Super Bowl halftime show like 31 years ago. When Michael Jackson was at Super Bowl performing, and he got he had the crowd jumping up and down like a seesaw. And I remember they had a blackout when Beyonce performed at the Super Bowl, when she only wanted to perform when Whitney Houston sung the national anthem. they had a girl from the Jug this year singing the national anthem, for the Super Bowl that really represented from Super Bowl history, that we all know that, there was a lot of people over there that were, the Super Bowl seats were mad money just to get a seat, just to get a front row seat. It costed a lot of money, sitting down and enjoying the game. The stadium's very big when you're at the Super Bowl. There'll be fireworks blasting off. There'll be airplanes flowing on top of the stadium. And, they had a halftime show. Shout out to my boy Shaquille O'Neal. He was at the Super Bowl. Shout out to my boy LeBron James. And shout out to my boy Jay-Z. He was at the Super Bowl himself, doing his own thing, making sure that they had a nice time and enjoying the whole game by storm. But there's a lot of shit that be popping off when, there was a lot of celebrities in the crowd. There was a bunch of celebrities in the crowd enjoying the game. Like Jennifer Lopez was over there. She had a commercial, like I said, with Fat Joe. And, like you seen that Dunkin' Donut commercial when Jennifer Lopez was with Fat Joe. And, that was a very good commercial. That was one of the hottest Dunkin' Donuts commercials that I've ever seen. Cardi B did a commercial. I know Common and the other people did a commercial. And they were kind of hilarious when they did the M&M commercial and the other commercials that I've been checking out, like last Sunday night when they had the Super Bowl Sunday in Las Vegas. I understand that they had the Las Vegas Raiders, but I know before that it was the Los Angeles Raiders. And, they made it to Las Vegas Raiders. How many of y'all remember, I was watching Super Bowls for a lot of years when it was on, when I used to be at my Aunt and Uncle Gary's house. Don't you remember the time I've been there when I was at my Aunt and Uncle's house watching the Super Bowl and the Patriots won the Super Bowl that time, like a couple of years ago? Y'all remember that? Y'all remember the time I was at my Aunt and Uncle's house when Uncle Gary was alive? Like Uncle Gary was a Super Bowl fanatic. I remember he was watching football, laying down in Nana's house, my grandmother's house, rest in peace to Nana, Rosemary Miro. I miss her dearly, and I'm keeping her memory alive no matter what could happen or how I see it. Rest in peace, shout out to my grandfather, Louis Miro. Rest in peace, shout out to Louis Miro. It was a fun time that, we had our own situations watching it with Aunt Brenda's brother, Louis. How y'all remember the times, like Louis was going for the Patriots, but I really forgot who played the Patriots. But I remember watching the Super Bowl when they had the St. Louis Rams, doing their thing in a Super Bowl one time with the Philadelphia Eagles. They made good passes. They did good touchdowns. They kicked a couple of field goals and extra points for that type of good reason that the Super Bowl was phenomenal. Just watching like baseball to the World Series and going to the NBA Finals at Madison Square Garden or any type of way. We all watched the Knicks or the Los Angeles Lakers and going to see the Clips game. And we're talking sports. We're only talking sports for that type of reason. And we all know that people enjoy watching sports like playing baseball, basketball, football, or horse racing. Any type of sport you love, it has to be on point. When you want to win money playing FanDuel or any type of thing from New York or New Jersey. Going to MetLife Stadium could be a good place to go to, but it's a big stadium where the New York Giants play. At that type of arena and stadium, the one I'm talking about, for that type of reason that people are just, in the crowds, no fights. Sometimes people in football games, they can have altercations when people be punching you, kicking you, smacking the hell out of you. Even when you're rooting for a team, that you love, and you wear like the Super Bowl. No, not the I'm sorry. Wearing your football throwback jersey, and you're sitting at the wrong spot, and people want to fuck you up, thinking they're the shit, and people are just like conning you just to make sure that you're sitting down, you're having a good time, and all the beef starts, then you want to swing at somebody the inappropriate way, and then the security has to come get you, and then they throw you out the arena and the stadium at the same time. The Super Bowl Sunday was good. As a matter of fact, shout out to all the players that was at the Super Bowl game. Shout out to Kansas City Chiefs that won the Super Bowl, that made it fine and dandy when they went overtime. Shout out to my homegirl Ice Spice. I would love to meet her one day. I would like to take a photo with her or Taylor Swift or anybody, any celebrity that I run into. I'm asking for a photo when the security, don't get in my way, or they want to fuck me up or like push me out their misery. And it really absolutely sucks when people do something like that. It don't get no better than that. It really don't get no better when the security be in your way. They push you like, knock you down like a bowling pin. How tough they can ever be when you want to get a photo with a celebrity and not get into security's way like you're getting ambushed by somebody that you already know about. What is the real reason for that time you want to see a celebrity and the bodyguard pushes you out the way? Ain't that inappropriate? Do you feel you act like a bitch when that fucking happens? Why you always want to be in a celebrity's way and the security has to push you when they knock you down? Like the time Snoop Dogg was at the Staples Center and they pushed the brother out the way. And he pushed him twice and he pushed him harder. And then he got very upset and very mad because he couldn't get a photo with Snoop Dogg. I felt the same way. I've been pushed away by Snoop Dogg. Some cop had to push me away when the time the Halal Ballroom was open next to Western Beef. And they took a lot of pictures with Snoop Dogg and left me out in the cold taking it. But I didn't give a fuck about that. I had to wait 5 years. I had to wait 5 years to get a photo with Snoop Dogg. I had to have a lot of patience for 5 years getting a photo with big Snoop Dogg. I know this year he's going to be at the Olympic game, no matter what could happen. Snoop Dogg's going to host the Olympics. Hopefully he'll do it. I don't know. It's a leap year this year. They should have the Olympic Games on NBC or any other station. We all watch like swimming or doing aerobics or arithmetic. Just like you're in school learning how to be a better performer, to learn how to do sports when you play any type of sport like football or anything, baseball or anything like basketball. Know how to hit a three-pointer, know how to understand that you dribble the ball, try and make a shot. Sometimes it goes in the rim or not the rim. I don't know if Flavor Flav was at the Super Bowl. I don't know if he was there. Unfortunately, he wasn't because I haven't seen him at the Super Bowl. I know Jay-Z was there with Beyonce sitting down watching the game for that type of reason. We all know that everybody in the Super Bowl had a nice time. I made my bets. I won the bet. I was excited. I didn't call my father. I was about to. So this is the story, and I'm going to end it. This is Jay Funkadelic, the Funkable Operator Podcast. Episode 21 has now come to a close. Y'all have a good morning. Y'all have a good day. You have a good night, and I'll see you soon. Peace.